Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, this is your brother Khalid Bahajri on behalf of the Board of Directors at ICCR. And this message is specifically about resuming Jum'ah prayers. I would like to kindly request each one of you that you listen to the entire message in this recording and not just the announcement portion at the beginning. My dear brothers and sisters, it has been very difficult on all of us that the masjid has been closed for a number of weeks, including entire Ramadan. But alhamdulillah, with the governor's office easing the restrictions on religious institutions, the board of directors, upon working on the guidelines set by the governor's office, believe that inshallah we are ready to resume our services, Jum'ah prayers, this coming Friday, June 5th. But this comes with very strict guidelines that have to be met. We certainly don't want to be in a position of a couple of masajid in LA when they heard about these restrictions being easing, that they went ahead and announced to open their masajid when they were not ready with those guidelines. And so they were forced to shut down. We certainly don't want to be in that position. Therefore, inshallah, the masjid, on behalf of the board of directors, will have to be very strict in enforcing these guidelines. But inshallah, with your help, we will not only open the masjid, but also maintain opening it. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm going to go through these guidelines. One of them is that every person who is coming into the masjid must wear a face mask. Not just this guideline, but many of the others, it's not whether we agree with them or not, but it's an issue of compliance. Therefore, each person would be required to bring their face mask with them, inshallah. Each one of us, inshallah, are requested to bring the prayer rugs as well. You bring your own prayer rug, you pray on it and take it with you. Unless it is necessary to use the wudu area, it is requested from each one of you to make wudu either from home or work and come to the masjid, inshallah. It is required that we'll be checking the temperature of each individual. So we will use forehead scanners that are non-contact thermometers to check the temperature. Any person that has a temperature of 100.4 Fahrenheit and above will not be allowed to enter the masjid to protect, inshallah, the congregation. Similarly, any person who shows signs of sickness, especially in the form of coughing and sneezing, will also be not allowed to enter into the masjid for the same reason. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a very strict criteria of maintaining a maximum of 100 individuals at every Jum'ah. And also that we have to maintain a social distance of 6 feet from one another. This is why we have reconfigured, redesigned the masjid, inshallah, in order to make this happen. Alhamdulillah, this has taken place, and I will share with you in the next slide how this will be presented to our audience, inshallah. Dear brothers and sisters, we are requesting no handshaking, no kissing, no hugging, inshallah, during or after the services, inshallah, azza wa jal. The next couple of points, I would like to bring them up in terms of a hadith. In Sahih Abi Dawood and Al-Hakim, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the following, that Salat al-Jum'ah is a requirement on every Muslim, except for 4 categories of people. This is not saying the 4 categories are prohibited from coming to Salatul Jum'ah, but they're not required. Therefore, I would like to, inshallah, mention this in terms of how we will apply them. Well, the first category doesn't apply to us anyways. This was at the time where slavery was still there, and so Prophet ﷺ is saying that slaves are not required to attend. That doesn't apply to us anyways. But the second, third, and fourth categories apply to us. The second category is the Prophet ﷺ says that women are not required to attend. Having said this, we understand that there might be some of our sisters at the university, at work nearby, at the medical center, and so they might be in the vicinity. But we do have, alhamdulillah, a space for our sisters, and I will share that with you when the slide comes to that point, inshallah. But all of our sisters that are not in the vicinity, we really encourage that they stay at home. Similarly, the hadith also mentions that children are not required to be coming for Friday prayers. This is why, specific to this disease, children that are 15 or less are at a higher risk of infection. So that's why we request that they also stay at home. And also those, the hadith mentions the four category are those that are sick. Therefore, individuals who are immune compromised, and each individual knows themselves. Those that are immune compromised are also requested to stay home. Dear brothers and sisters, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us to accommodate everyone in the community when we have only 100 individuals maximum at a given Jum'ah. Therefore, we have made a couple of adjustments. We will have 3 khutbahs. One of them is at 1 o'clock, the second one is at 1:30, and the third one is at 2 o'clock. Not only we've increased the number of khutbahs, but also we have reduced or shortened the time of service. In other words, the khutbah and salah time will be for 15 minutes. And so the rest of the time will be to empty the masjid so that the second group will come. This is why the sunnahs, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, are to be done either at home or at work. So insha'Allah, the sunnah that is after Salat al-Jum'ah, the masjid will be maintained to be closed for all salawat outside Salat al-Jum'ah. And this is for the reason to keep the cleanliness of the masjid in preparation for the next Jum'ah. So all other salawat outside Salat al-Jum'ah will be done, insha'Allah, at Suite D. This will be all effective, inshallah, coming this Friday, June 5th. One additional thing we're going to be doing, and this is per guideline, is that we're going to request from you to complete an online form that will be available to you using our newsletter as well as on our Facebook page, that you will need to complete 2 sets of information. One of them is just a contact information, name, address, email address, and phone number. That part is needed because there has to be a tracking mechanism in case, may Allah Azza wa Jal forbid, but if it happens that somebody is sick, we have to be able to guide them in terms of what the next steps should be. And so having your contact information is necessary so that we can provide you with that type of guidance. But not just about the person who's sick, but also people that might be in contact with the person who is sick need to be guided. That's why the online form is going to be needed for us to just have, and it's a one-time thing. So all we need is just a one-time information that we gather. So that's why we want to get it online. In the event any one of you does not get this online, we will have to get it upon entrance. And so that it's not delaying the entry process, we kindly would like to request that you complete this online. The other information we'd like to get also from online is very simple. Which salah are you most likely to attend? The 1 o'clock, the 1:30, or the 2 o'clock? And this is just to give us a feel for which of these salawat is going to be highly packed versus the others. This way we can distribute things differently, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, if that happens to be the case. Dear brothers and sisters, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, I would like to next go over the floor plan for the masjid. And so I'm waiting for the slide, yes. So, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, this will be the floor plan for the masjid, inshallah. So this main musalla that you see is typically what's going to be used for our brothers. And again, this is just for efficiency purposes. And so in order to ease the entry and exit, so we'll have multiple entry points, as you can see. One that is close to the imam. As you can see, it will be used for entry and exit, and this will be for the front half of the main musalla. The back end of the main musalla will have also its own entrance and exit from the back door that typically brothers will be entering. And so you will see a blue line on the floor that delineates those that come from the back versus those that come from the end, from the front, where they will be seated, inshallah. There will also be another entrance from the keyless entry that typically is used. And so we will be using entry and exit from that as well. Also from the very back where the sisters typically enter, there will be entry and exit. So alhamdulillah, all of this will ease entry and exit. Additionally, there will be two exits that will be open. One that will be from the place where there's a keyless entry, there's a small door that will be open there. And also from the back, there will be another exit that will be open. So this will be easing, inshallah, the entry and exit. This is for the brothers. At any of these entry points, we will be checking the following. This will also apply to the sisters. We will be checking the following: face masks. We'll be checking temperatures. We will have sanitizers upon entry and exit that you could use. We will also have shoe bags. And so inshallah, you will be given disposable shoe bags that you will put your shoes. And so when you enter, you will see that the social distancing is being met by chairs that have been put in the musalla areas. And so below the chair, you can put your shoes, inshallah. For those that have low back pain, you can still use the chairs to sit on them as well. We will check upon these entrances also the names, the contact information, inshallah, as mentioned before. And also for those, mashallah, that always like to donate on Fridays, we will provide donation boxes upon entries and exit points. This way, inshallah, you can donate as well. Last, inshallah, I would like to talk about the area for our sisters. So Suite D, because it also has its own restroom area, will be used for our sisters. It will have its own guidelines that we mentioned earlier. So a group of sisters, volunteers will help to also maintain entry and exit for our sisters. Dear brothers and sisters, inshallah, in conclusion, I would like to, inshallah, first thank each one of you for your patience that you've shown when the masjid was closed, but also in advance, thank you for your cooperation, inshallah, in this process as we try to not just open the masjid as mentioned before, but inshallah maintain opening the masjid by meeting these guidelines. I believe, inshallah, alhamdulillah, our community is so resilient. It has shown this before and will continue to do so to maintain this, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, to help us. And we want to ask you, inshallah, for dua. Keep us in your dua. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله. جزاكم.